I've got 3 questions for you. That's part of Work Smarts. Number one, how do you stay so efficient? How do you do everything that you need to do during the day? And how are you able to achieve it?
Well, first of all, you have to think about what your priorities are. So I start out with saying, here are the things that are important for me and what I need to get done today. And so I don't let the small stuff get in my way. Never did. I don't believe in breakfast meetings. I don't believe in lunch meetings. I don't go out to dinners with people. If you want to meet with me, sit down and have a conversation. If you're hungry, go get something to eat and then come see me. So throughout my entire career, all these people go out and do all this socializing during the day. I don't do.
So no breakfast meetings, no lunch
Breakfast
meetings. Everything's done in your office?
Everything is either in my office or in meetings and whatever, meeting sessions or whatever. But I don't do a lot of one-on-ones with people. I generally feel that most of the conversation I'm having impacts many people. So I bring everybody together. I talk very openly in front of people, and so that's helps me get through the day in a time frame that makes sense for me.
And how do you balance work and family?
You schedule it. It's if you, I called my daughter-in-law last night, and my son was late on the train, and I sing a little song, "Cats in the Cradle," and we sing that song and about "I'll be home soon,
Right.
son," right? And so throughout my life, I've always said to the kids, "Cats in the cradle, silver spoon," and I've got to figure out a way to do more. So I used to make it a priority when I was younger, and still is, to the extent that I'm able to be with family. But when the kids were growing up, I made sure I got home in time for dinner almost every night of the week.
So you almost like schedule it just like you would meetings, or
Absolutely, and I would literally run down Wall Street or run from New York Plaza to get to the PATH train and try to get over to Hoboken in time to catch the train that would get me home where my kids weren't starving to death. So, and I used to say I used to leave the work at home, and they said, not really, Dad, but at least I was able to come home, spend time with family, and not be out drinking or having dinners and stuff like that, which are nice to have, but it's not necessary.
not when you've got kids.
Not when you have family and you have
Yeah.
other priorities. But you have to make sure that you schedule time with your family.
What would you say is one of the biggest lessons you've learned from a mistake in your past?
I think what's, to me, the most essential is you can be risky on some things, experiment on some things, but always make sure you have an exit strategy. And so sometimes in my career, I was pretty confident in what I was doing, and I thought I was really fulfilling the most valuable job, and people really appreciated all my hard work, and I was wrong. And so, not that I want to get into the specifics of it, and I hadn't done enough networking. I didn't say to myself, make sure you have options that if it doesn't work out, that you can be able to pick up the pieces. So
you mean in every job, in everything you do, have an exit strategy?
Have an exit strategy. What if this doesn't work? How am I going to deal with it? Because for me, it was a matter of making sure that when I'm decided I want to do something different, am I prepared for the worst? And that's where, in your book, when you and I talk, it's about making sure you can financially afford it.
Right.
And so that several times in my career, I said, it's time to hang it up and move on to something different. My move to Wall Street was a very different move for me, something I didn't know anything about, and I picked it up real quick and got the job done. But if I didn't get the job done, I could afford to move on and do something different.
It's interesting because so many people hang on to a job exactly because of what you say. They don't know where to go next.
And they always say, well, I'm not done. Well, you know what? When you leave, you're done. and things are never finished. If they're finished, it's over.
Yeah.
And so we've got to understand what role we're playing and make sure that you don't get in the way of the younger people underneath you. So there's got to be constant flow and movement. And so it's just being realistic that you're not indispensable.